The last song I got to do is a song entitled "Spain" by Chicory.
Oh, sure.
KDJ Trio. This is what inspires me. This is what makes my blood flow. You know? Cameron Johnson, 14 years old. Jonathan Meir Cotton, 15 years old. Jeffrey Trent, 15 years old. Donovan Johnson, 11 years old. You know, it's a gentleman here that's the author of Before Motown. I know you've heard of the book, but he usually come up and just grab the mic and speak, but tonight I'm going to invite him up to say something. Let's hear from Jim Gallard. And while he's making it to the stand, I just learned from the owners that they're going to try to have these gentlemen here every Sunday. So since we're going to need your support, listen, I have heard older musicians in this city that don't produce like this. In fact, I've played with some of them. Hey, I've heard these guys come up behind older musicians and really, you know, you say, well, you know those guys are good. Well, look at these guys. They come up and have more oomph. You know, and they have more octane. You know what I mean? This is just, it's heartwarming. You know, it's very emotional to me because this music is America's gift to the world. And for some reason, people in this country seem to lock on to more drama than real stuff, you know what I mean? That's right on the Grammys. How many jazz musicians other than Esperanza Spalding did you see get a Grammy? And she's deserving of it because she's a dynamic musician. We have a young lady here in this city that I propose to be the next Esperanza Spalding. How old is Kendall?
Kendall, where's Kendall?
She's 13 years old.
All right.
You should hear that young lady play.
We can hear her next
We're going to try to invite her out here one day.
Right.
So you can hear her. She sings and she plays the bass and has an older sister, Morgan, that plays upright bass. I'm not talking about the other bass, upright bass. I mean, that's just some of the kids. We had the summer program going at the Car Center. And you'd be surprised what these kids can do. You never, ever think they can't produce. Perfect example, right here. So I'm going to shut my mouth and let Mr. Gallard speak. Oh. Jim Gallard.
All right.
Thanks, George. You know, when we talk about Detroit's great musicians, we should always remember that Detroit's reputation was made by musicians that left the city and took the gift of music out to the world. But the reputation is sustained by musicians who stay in the city and continue to teach and nurture younger musicians coming up.
All right.
And I'd like to acknowledge my good friend, Mr. George Davidson, as being one of those musicians.
That's right.
Who stays here to help younger musicians find their musical way out into the big wide world. You know, it's really great standing here in Baker's because Baker's is arguably the world's oldest jazz club. There's been live music on this spot going back to at least 1939. 34. Well, that's when it was opened in 1934. Is that you, Ernest? And, you know, so it was opened in 1934, and Pat Flowers started here around 1941, and they had some piano players before then. But Baker's has been an institution in the city for all those many years, and it continues to be a great institution in the city. And it's wonderful that people come out to support not only the institution, but these wonderful young musicians who are making a name for themselves and carrying on this wonderful gift that, as George correctly said, that America has given to the world. This is our culture, and we've given this to the world at large. And Detroit has always been a key player in that entire musical script. You know, I'm really, it's wonderful to see Mr. Ernest Rogers sitting here. Ernie, let's give him a round of applause. I mean, we have so much history just in the room, just with George, who was a part of so many important Detroit bands, including one that he was in a trio with Aretha Franklin back in the early 1960s, along with Teddy Harris and Roderick Hicks, the late great Roderick Hicks. And he was also with Paul Butterfield's blues band, along with Teddy Harris and Rod Hicks. And they created an entirely new sound for the blues. They translated blues. They made a rock and roll vehicle out of blues and jazz. They fused it all together, just like Miles Davis did. Anyway, I've talked long enough, but thank you very much for coming out tonight. And don't forget, you get to hear the likes of Mr. Ernest Rogers, the Rappa House Man, with Ben's Friends. Big band coming up in just a few short minutes. So thank you very much for coming out. And how about a nice round of applause for these wonderful young musicians?